Good morning, everyone. So this morning we are going to be making this macrame inspired bookmark. It is crochet. I think it looks a little macrame with the beading detail and the tassels, inspired by all the beautiful macrame pieces I've seen around. Makes fantastic gift, perfect for craft fairs, teachers' gifts, any occasion really. So it's really easy, and all we need is 20 grams of worsted weight cotton yarn or any yarn of your choice, a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, and beads of your choice. Just make sure that the hole is big enough for the yarn and the needle to fit through, and then you want to make sure that you have a needle small enough to fit through your bead, and some scissors. Okay, so we're just going to start with our slip knot and chain 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to skip this very first stitch here and work a single crochet into the second stitch. So single crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, and then single crochet right back in there. Sorry, it's a little bit bright. Okay. And then we're gonna skip the middle chain, so skip the second chain. And then we're gonna single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet right back into that same stitch again. Okay, now at the end of that row, we're just gonna chain 1. Make sure you've got your working yarn, chain 1, and turn. And then we're gonna work into that chain 2 space. We're gonna work a single crochet, followed by 2 chain stitches, another single crochet into that same chain 2 space. We're gonna skip the middle stitch, work into the second chain 2 space, a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Okay, so you're just gonna chain 1, turn, work into that chain 2 space again, 1 and 2, and single crochet back into that chain 2 space, skip the middle stitch, work into that second chain 2 space, work a single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet. Okay, so you're just going to keep working this till you get the length that you need, but you can see how it's turning out kind of lacy. It's quite pretty. So just chain 1, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet back into that chain 2 space, and skip the middle, single crochet into the second chain 2 space, chain 2, and turn. So if you've made either my lacy sun hat or my bag, you're familiar with this stitch. It makes up part of that texture. So you make your bookmark as long as you want. I'm going to make mine probably about 7 inches long. And so I'll continue on till it reaches 7 inches, and then we'll meet up and I'll show you how to do the tassels and the beading and whatnot. Okay, see you soon. Okay, so the next part of the bookmark that we're going to do is just this little loop here, and that's what we're going to be attaching our tassel to. So this one is made out of the Caron Cakes yarn. You can see it's actually quite different, a little bit more delicate, and definitely thinner than the Bernat cotton, but they both look pretty. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now that we finished, mine is 7 inches long, so I'm just going to chain 1 and turn, and then I'm going to do 2 more chains, 1 and 2, and then I'm going to actually be joining with a slip stitch. So this is where we worked our single crochet, 2 chains, and a single crochet. I'm going to actually join to that last single crochet with a slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn, and I'm going to start working through that open area there, and I'm just going to work as many single crochets as fits. I usually work 5 or 6, so that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. It doesn't have to be exact. What we want to do is just cover up that chain that we just made. So now that that's done, we can just fasten off. And I need to grab my scissors. Okay, so we'll just fasten off and we'll weave in that end so that it stays out of our way when we're working on the tassel. So I'll do that and come back. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to be doing is just a simple chain. And that is what we're going to attach the tassel with. So again, you can make that as long as you want. So I'll probably make mine about 4 inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So let's see what we're at with that. So that's my tape measure. All right, so mine's about 5 inches, so I'm good with that. So we're just going to fasten this off and put that aside. Okay, let's just snip that. Now for the tassel, I'm going to use my fingers, but of course you can use a piece of cardboard, probably about 4 inches. I always recommend making the tassel larger because you can always cut it down to size. So I'm just going to use my fingers and I am going to wrap the big tassel 40 times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 10. I'm going to pause and meet up with you. Okay, so I've wrapped the yarn 40 times, and what I'm going to do is just use this yarn that we just did the chain with, and I'm going to put that through the top. Okay. Okay, so at this point, if you want to add any beads, we're going to add them right here and feed them through this yarn. So when you get the beads, it's really important that they have a big enough hole. I'm just going to open, I just picked up this little package of beads this morning from Walmart. They were $4, so that was a really good deal. It was a way better deal than anything I found on Amazon. So if you're able to get to a Walmart, I'm in Canada, so probably even cheaper in the US. So they've got a big enough hole that's pretty dark. Oops, that wasn't very thoughtful. Okay, so I am just going to, all right, so let's thread it through the needle. And you can get beading needles, and I ordered some actually this morning. They'll be here tomorrow, but I want to get this video done. So let's see. So I've got my yarn on my needle here, and we can thread it through the beads. So I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do 3. So that's 1, and we'll do 1 of these, and 1 of the dark ones again. There we go. So that looks quite pretty. Now at this point, what we're going to do is tie off the end of the tassel. Okay, so let's take it and we'll just tie a knot. So you want one side long enough that it's going to go down there when you trim it, and then you can just knot it here. So just like that. Okay. And then we can weave it around. So just wrap it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then just make sure that you have enough to weave in the end when you're done down here. Okay. All right. Then we'll take those and cut through. what we're going to do is just weave in these ends here. You can go right underneath your stitches here. Putting a little bit of fray check on the ends always helps with that as well. It'll stop them from sliding back out. Here we go. We'll just snip those off. And then all we have left to do is just make the small, isn't that pretty? And so that'll hang right out of the book. Okay, so now we're just going to make a smaller tassel for this end. So I'll just take this and I'll wrap it around my fingers. And of course, if you've got cardboard, you can do that. So I'll wrap this around 20 times and then we'll meet up and do the smaller tassel. Okay, so I wrapped that around 20 times. We're just going to take a piece of yarn and tie that at the top there. And then just flip this inside out, and then that way that knot will actually be on the inside. Okay, if you want, you could take a couple of smaller beads like I have here, and I'll just pop a few on before we put this last tassel on, because I have my starting yarn there, so I think that looks kind of cute just to add those on. And then with the tassel, we're just going to take a piece and cut it. We're not even wrapping this one. This is a smaller one, and I thought it would be nice if it just looked a little bit different. So we're just going to wrap that and tie that in a knot. There we go. And I'll just let those hang down. Trim this way. We'll trim those. Make sure those are all trimmed. Okay, and then we'll take this tail and weave it through there.